for this session. There's going to be a couple of things here. You'll see the volleyball skills running down the middle. And I want to take 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute, and I want you underneath the skill, so like underneath serving, I want you to write down the 2 or 3 most common cues that you use to teach the skill of serving. Okay? Maybe it's good toss. Maybe it is drive your hand through the ball. Maybe it is rotate your hips, transfer your weight. Whatever it is, I want you to think of, whatever it is, I want you to think of the 2 or 3 skills for that sport, or for that skill. The 2 or 3 cues. So, you guys take serving, all right? You guys are gonna have passing right in here. You guys are gonna have setting. Y'all are gonna have attacking. Actually, let's do this big group, attacking, okay? Let's go, that group is gonna be blocking right here, this half of this section. You guys have digging, and you all have transition. We'll cover coverage together as a group. All right, we'll get to you guys in a second. All right, we're setting the stage here. One of the things that we know from motor learning research, you got your stuff? You got it written down? Yeah? Still working. It's good. One of the things we know from motor learning research is that people learn better when they hear external feedback. What does external feedback mean? It means that the feedback that you are giving them, or the cues that you are giving them, is more related to things that are outside of their body than inside. So what I want you to do now is look at your list of cues, and I want you to draw an arrow that points it to the left if it's an internal cue, if the object of the cue is the person's body. If the object of the cue is something external to them, I want you to draw an arrow to the right. This is like the stuff that I'm thinking about right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not an expert. I am a curious learner.
Fast approach.
Trying to get better at things. So I've become aware of this. I've learned a little bit about it. I've started doing it in my gym, and now I'm reinforcing that learning by trying to teach you all. But I am not an expert, okay? This is stuff that's being talked about a lot right now in the volleyball community, about using external cues more often. It doesn't mean you can't ever use internal cues, but what you want to try to do is drive your coaching towards things that are external. Now, why? Why might it be better to use external cues than internal cues? One is that it helps your student athletes be their own best coach. You can't be everywhere, right? And so if I'm doing an attack, if I'm doing an approach, and one of my cues is get your elbow high, I go for a swing, and I go for it, I can't see my elbow. I have no idea if my elbow is high or not, right? I am dependent on somebody else to give me that feedback. However, what kind of external cue might result? Might I only be able to attack with a high elbow to be able to achieve? Hitting down into the deep court. Okay? Right? Like the only way I'm going to be able to hit down and into the deep court is if my elbow is high when I'm making contact with the ball. So, we say that to kids. Instead of, hey, get your elbow high, or your elbow is low, say, I want you to hit down into the deep court. And when they hit into the net, they might know a little bit more of whether or not their elbow is high. If they hit up and into the backcourt, They might know whether or not their elbow is high then. And now they're their best coach. The ball is telling them whether or not they've executed the cue correctly. All right? So there's a number of different ways that we can do this. All right? So, serving group. You guys are my servers. This is participatory. Give me one of your external cues. Do you have any? Yeah. High five the back wall. I love it. All right. High five the back wall. I'm serving. Boom. I'm high fiving the back wall. That is an external cue that they are going to be able to tell every time that they do it. All right. So let's set up a drill to be able to execute this. And let's use some other parameters, some other little gimmicks to try to promote better learning. You guys are going to set this up for me. I need one of you to take 2 noodles, and I want you to create a gate on the net that is going to allow for somebody to serve from zone 1 to that cone right there. All right? And Bree, I need you to take the tape, and I'd like you to put a line on the court. Actually, we have a pretty good line right here. All right, so we don't need this quite yet. Will you put that the cone right on that line? Now, give me a gate between, yeah? All right, now you're coming back and you're getting ready to serve. Okay, and you are going to high five. There you go. Give her a little bit of a wide, yeah, there you go. All right, you are going to be working on trying to serve through the gate to the zone while giving a high five to the back wall. Go. All right. Nice. Good. Love it. All right, now I got a question for you. Is your toss allowing you to stay right on the line that is in front of you here and putting it there? Can you really work hard to get your toss on that line? Okay, where was that toss? Okay, all right, so now we want to work on the finish a little bit. We want that high five on the wall, flat. All right, good. Now, let's do something a little more challenging. We still have that cone in zone 5. We still want to serve to zone 5. Let's move our serving spot over to zone 5. I want you to give me the gate that's going to allow that to happen. Bree, come on over and put the tape on the floor that is going to give you the line that allows you to hit that. Still going to be, let's start it. Actually, Mike. Here, I'm going to put it here. And that's your starting spot. Now, give me the line that's going to allow you and go all the way through the court. Yep. That's good. Perfect. That's fine. Love it. All right. All right, now we've created this line that we're going to be staying on. All of this stuff is external feedback, right? Like we've created some constraints that are going to narrow our learning, give ourselves attention. Okay, we're going to keep that toss right on that line. In our gym, we call this the runway. We picked this up from Michigan State. They came into their gym one time and they had these tape lines all over the place. Okay? And what they're trying to do, and they extend these lines through the court so that you can track the ball along that line. That's good flow. That's not what we're focused on. All right. Keep driving that. High five the back wall. Better. Okay. ball. We have got a cone that is a target. But we also have a gate in the middle, and we've got a line that is supposed to drive their energy and their contact. And if the ball doesn't go someplace where they want it to go, they can tell what's happening there and coach themselves through it. All right? I didn't give you a whole lot of feedback, right? But you were actively engaged in the process of learning yourself, okay? And you didn't need me there to be able to know exactly what we were trying to do and to get better at it. All right? Good job. So that's one aspect of serving. Let's think about passing now. Okay? Passing. Give me a passing group. Give me an external external cue for passing. This is one of the reasons that I think that this is really like a helpful thing to start thinking about, because a lot of us were told that internal cues are the best because it helps to result, because those are the things you've got control over, right? Like, if I want to get low, all right, like good feedback for passing, right? Get low. Get to where your hands can touch the floor. Okay? Like, start in that position. That's going to be an easier way for your players to be able to tell whether or not they're low enough. All right? Again, we want to engage them, ignite their own learning, even when you can't be there for every rep to see. All right? So, let's go into another good cue for passing, which is put spin on the ball. I want you to put spin on the ball. So give me two passers, a target, and a server. And you can just kind of bowl balls in. You don't have to, we don't actually have to serve. And then just go alternating to each side. Yep, if you want a target, that'd be great. The cue that we're using is put spin on the ball. Now, what is a very common problem in our passers? A lot of them take the ball too close to their body. What I'd like you to do is do this poorly right now. Okay, so stop for a second. I want you to try to take the ball tight to your body instead of away from the body. Let's see what happens to the spin on the ball. It's good. Less spin or more spin? Less spin. Okay, so now put spin on the ball. What happens to the angle of their platform? Gets, right? The platform gets away from their body. Now, one of the things we also know about external cues is that it results in greater retention. There have been all kinds of studies. Okay, if you want a great book, Gabrielle Wolf wrote a book about motor learning and attention, and talks about the value of these external cues. Okay? Okay, good. Stop. Good example for passing, all right? Put spin on the ball. Can we think of other external cues that we might want to use for common passing errors? Bend your knees, okay? I would still contend that that's a little bit of an internal cue. The object of the cue is something internal to you, okay? It's your knees, right? So how can, again, we like try to make that external? Hips to the target is going to be a good one, okay? To be able to say that we want you like facing this way, that when the skill is done, they can tell if they did it or not, right? Okay, so great, perfect. All right, let's move on to setting now. Okay, and we're just going to have, this is a common thing for setting, is that we don't get our feet behind the ball. Okay, so feet behind the ball is a external cue. Okay, the object of the cue is the ball, our relationship to the ball. So we want to get back behind the ball, and we want to set it like a cannonball to the outside. Got it? All right, so let's get here, come over to this side. I want you to get your feet behind the ball, okay? And then I want you to shoot it like a cannonball to the outside. Go. There you go. Good. Love it. Get back behind the ball. All right. Okay, it's harder to do it like a cannonball when you don't have your feet there, right? Okay, so manage your feet, get your feet behind the ball, okay? That's your relationship to the ball, and then shoot it like a cannonball. All right, now, I'm also going to say that when we start taking you off the net, I want you to do finish to the antenna. Okay? So, take you off the net. Finish to the antenna. Okay, so now she finished to the antenna, but she did it afterwards. Okay? We say this all the time, right? Square to the left antenna. That's a good example of an external cue. Square to the left antenna. Okay? They know it if they've done it. Keep that cannonball. There you go. Good speed. All right? Okay, setting. All right, so now think about your cues and think about ways that you can transform the cues that you're using into external cues. The ways that, what you want the person's body to do, translate it into a way to give feedback that is external to them. They're going to learn it better. All right, let's go to the next thing. We talked about setting. Let's talk. Hitting. Yeah. I'm walking all over the place. This one. Good. Think about your attacking cues. All right, we're good. Hey, we're back. All right. One of the common attacking cues is opening the door, closing the door. That's a great external cue. You let your players know you want to open the door, you want to close the door as you swing. All right? So let's just do, will you toss for me? Okay, get in a hitting line. Let's go. Yeah, you're just going to toss it to them as a setup. Warm up, you got it. All right, and you're going to open the door, close the door. Now, I'd like you to open that door wider. And I'd like you to close it faster. Oh, there you go. Now we're generating power. Open the door, close the door. That's great. All right, now, let's take our serve receive, our serving cue. And where's the other blue noodle? Here it is. All right, here's what I need. Because I like providing specific, implements around the gym that drive their attention, I like to create or use things like noodles, cones, to do this. Can you put up the blue cone, or the blue in the seam, green cone for line, and yellow cone for angle? If you were a part of, good, okay. Now, we've got, if I call out blue, they're going for the seam. If I call out green, they're going for the line. If I call out yellow, they are going for the cross court. All right? This is similar to the drill you might have just seen from Justin was running. But we're going to do it with this intention that you are responding to the late feedback. Yeah. Now, think about this. What is the late feedback going to require the hitter to do? Okay, just think about it. All right, here we go. Yellow. Good. Seam, or blue. Blue! Come on. Green. Good. Got it. Yellow. Good. Blue. Good. Green. Okay. Green. Yeah. Blue. Yellow. Ah! Safety hazard. Oh, that's a narrow gate. That's a challenging gate. Love it. Here we go. Green. Nice. Yellow. Sorry, I didn't give you something. I was thinking about that swing. Blue, blue. Good. All right, now stop. Okay, now I want you to intentionally toss these poorly. All right? Sometimes way far out, sometimes inside. Like, not like inside here, okay? But I want you to intentionally force them into some challenging situations. And I want you to see how they process this. I want you guys to be thinking about how engaged in this drill you are. Because tell me that the number of times that you do hitting lines in your gym, your players are not totally engaged. Okay? All right, let's go. Yellow, yellow. Oh, challenging one. Green. Blue, blue. Oh, all right. Yellow. Easy. Green. Nice. Modulated that plant. I didn't tell you something. So, blue. Good. Green. Yeah! That was so late too. But yellow. All right, stop. Okay. What this type of drill is going to force is a neutral plant. That was not something that I told them going into it, right? Like a neutral plant, a plant to the ball that allows them to be able to hit here, hit there. We saw a little bit of thumb down in order to get the result that we wanted, okay, which was going for different kinds of spots. All right, so the neutral plant was the thing that drove them to being able to do this drill effectively, right? And the whole time, I don't know, like if we were really thinking about opening and closing the door, okay, but it's led us into something that was a learning objective they didn't even know about, all right? But they ended up doing it in order to effectively demonstrate the drill. All right, good job. Let's move on now. Let's move on to blocking, okay? Blocking cues, what do we got? 10 minutes. We're gonna wrap up with blocking, okay? One of the things that I've tried doing is taking the idea of this runway and apply it to blocking as well. There are times where I just tell our players, I want you to line up the block to just line up on the ball. We're not blocking line, we're not blocking cross. Your job as a pin is to just get in front of the ball no matter where it is. Our defense is going to respond appropriately. So, what does in front of the ball mean? Bree, will you come over here? You be a hitter. Okay? Yeah. All right. Am I in front of the ball? Kind of. I mean, I'm right here. Am I in front of the ball? Yeah? Am I in front of the ball? Yeah? If I'm not squared up, right? Okay, so what we're telling our kids now is to get in front of the approach. Oh, okay, now get in front of the approach. So give me a toss, and give me a blocker, and give me 2 hitters. It's easy on the blocker. It doesn't matter. Yep. 2 hitters. You no blocking? I'm going to teach you. Come on. Here we go. All right, here's what I want you to do. I just want you to jump up as high as you can, and whenever you block, I want you to reach for the back wall. Okay? But the other thing I want you to do is I want you to watch your hitter, and wherever their approach leads them, I want you to try to get in front of it. Right? Get in front of their approach. All right? Don't want to stand there. Oh, that's good. Now, hold on. Toss inside and outside a little bit. Okay, so you're going to force them to go. Now, don't watch the ball. Don't watch anything else. Watch them get in front of their approach, and when you jump, your hands shoot to the back wall. Go. Oh, you don't know how to block? That was a great adjustment. And hold on, stop. Super fast adjustment. On the inside set, you watched your approach, you got onto the inside. All right, great job. Okay, well done. That's gonna be it. Like, I got like a little bit of time here. I want to cover a couple other things. Okay, so you guys are done. Give these guys a round of applause. A variety of different types of external cues that we use for digging is getting under the ball. There's a difference between saying, like, get low and get under the ball, right? Get into a position that allows you to come up to the ball. Get into a position that allows you to see the bottom of the ball. We've actually been doing this a lot with regards to serve receive. And, like, we have, like, designated serving time where, we've got half of our team goes over to serve. The other half of the team is shagging. Now, is this a very good use of time? Maybe, maybe not, okay? The way that we get our shaggers to get involved is to say, I want you back there. Every time that you're going to shag, I want you to watch the bottom of the ball. I want you to watch the bottom of the ball. I want you to track the bottom of the ball. Now I want you to track the back of the ball. And your whole vision is not just on the ball itself, it's on the specific part of the ball that you want to pass. And so, when would you rather pass, like, watch the bottom of the ball? A short serve. A ball that is going to be landing in front of you. Why? Because you got to get underneath it and be able to make that kind of play. And if the ball's coming deep on me, I want to watch the back of the ball, so that I'm back here like that. Right? So we're teaching our players to, like, we're slowing it down, right? Like, it's just a serving drill that is now becoming an eye-tracking drill that's dialing them in to being really specific on external cues, things external to them. Digging, again, you'd say dig under the ball. You'd say dig to the ceiling, right? Like, too many of our players are digging too low. They're trying to make perfect passes, putting the ball right to the center spot. Get that ball in the air. Get it into the middle of the court. Okay? Get underneath the ball. Dig that ball to the ceiling. Okay? Without swinging. Which is a little bit of an internal cue. All right. Sometimes it's just hard to avoid. All right. Transition. You want to open yourself to the digger. Okay? Talk to our kids about transitioning off the net. Okay? Don't say, step, crossover, close. Say, open to the dig, run, and then get ready to approach. All right? And then the last one I'm going to talk a little bit about is coverage. And one of the things that's been pretty effective for us in our gym is that we've taken their eyes, like our primary coverage people, we've taken their eyes off of watching the play, and we've said, watch the block. Because that's where, like, it is going to happen so fast where the hitter is going to go, like, if you're watching just the ball's in the hitter's hands, boom, block, bam, to here. Don't have that kind of time, right? So, our primary coverage person, their whole attention is on watching the block. So that's the person that's tightest in coverage. So that when the ball hits that block, boom, they can go after it. External focus, external cueing. Okay? We've got some other stuff on the back of this, and I'm just gonna say that like there's a couple things. If I've got a goal of this session, it's just that you think a little bit more about the intentionality behind your feedback. Okay? Being really intentional about how you're giving feedback. And one of the things that I would say, like one question is like, how often should feedback be given? I would say that I would prefer to use a little bit more summary feedback than individual, than like specific rep feedback. Okay? And what I mean by summary feedback is that I see, most of the time, here's what I see you doing. How are you feeling about that? Okay? These are the things that I'd like you to work on. These are the things I think you're doing really well. And here's something that you can do that's going to help you get to be a little, like to grow a little bit as a player. Summary feedback is going to be a little bit better and easier for them to kind of handle. The other thing that I think is valuable is rely on your cues instead of thinking about like corrective kind of feedback. If somebody doesn't do what you're asking them to do, just keep telling them not what they did wrong, but what they need to do better, right? Like what they need to do better. Tell them what they need to do versus like not what they don't need to do. I would want you to think intentionally about where you're positioning yourself for feedback, right? If I am watching passing and I'm trying to provide feedback to my players, I am getting in this position right here. And the reason I'm doing that is to block myself from the result. I want to give them feedback on their process. I don't want to give them feedback on the result. And I get into the habit, I don't know if you do too, I get in the habit of saying, like, oh, good pass. Everybody knows that was a good pass. They don't need me to recognize that for them. That feels good, they like it, right? But that's not necessary feedback. So I know that I tend to do that, so I put myself in a position where I don't even get to see where the pass goes. Right? Keep my attention where it needs to be. The other thing that I would encourage you to use is individual self-feedback. Get them responding yes or no to things if they are doing what you're looking for them to do. You could have them say, after they pass a ball, spin or flat. If they saw a good spin on it, they kept their platform away from their body, then all they got to do is after the rep, spin, next move, right? Like next person in. Or flat, next person in. And they have it, then they are like giving themselves that feedback. They're keeping themselves engaged. If you've got good trust on your team, you can do peer feedback. Having like the person behind them in a drill give them that kind of response. I see spin. I saw that flat. Okay? Try to avoid, here's a cue, like a lot of people have told me that there's no way peer feedback works in their gym. Maybe they don't feel like they got a culture to be able to do that. You got to step into culture at some point, right? Like, so if that's what you want, you got to ask it of them, right? And then make sure that they're not giving feedback that's either like good or bad, right? Like it's not good or bad. It's neutral. It either had spin or it didn't. The ones that didn't have spin is not inherently bad. It's not what we're looking for, but it's not bad. Do you get the difference? We have a lot of judgment in our players right now. They judge things immediately as good or bad. Here's something to think about. How can you make your feedback just simply give them data about leading to success than making them feel good or bad about what they did? Like, think a little bit about that. Because one of the things I think we have are praise-addicted kids. It comes through in social media, right? The number of likes that they get, They want the love, okay, that they're getting from all different places, and they want the love from you. And it's like a drug. And they will work hard to be able to get that kind of love. But my encouragement to you is to try to stay a little bit more neutral. Okay? Don't be all about praise. Be about giving them the corrective feedback, the cueing that's going to allow them to learn and to grow. And now they're going to be doing stuff not to get praise from you, but to be able to get success for your team, which is going to be really what you want, right? You want them working for the success of the team, not to just be really good in the eyes of their coach. And then you start kind of pulling people along in a really exciting place, all right? I think I'm out of time, but like I'm around the whole weekend, so I'd love to talk to you if you've got other kind of questions about this. Again, this is not something that I am an expert in. This is a growth edge for me, and one of the ways that I try to like hold myself accountable to growth edges is to follow the learn, do, teach model, okay? And so I kind of forced myself to get uncomfortable with this, okay, when I agreed to give this presentation, which also says, hey, you guys don't need to be experts to get up here and start doing presentations either. All right? Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.